We welcome you to Blues Game Day Live. Here we are in the bowels of MTS Center here in downtown Winnipeg, and looking forward to game number 5. Series is tied up at 2-2. Joe Vitale, any surprises there?
I don't think so. I think if you would have asked either team, for the most part, when this series started, if you'd be notched at 2 heading into Game 5, I think both teams would have took it. I think it's going to take 7 games. These are the two big, heavy teams. I think the Blues got hope, maybe a little mesmerized coming out 2-0, coming back to St. Louis, but it hit them hard. This is a good team, the Winnipeg Jets, and it's going to be a battle here tonight.
Last game was a good one, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh,
that's a good
fun.
playoff
How did that feel
game
between the benches? It
yeah,
was
really
awesome
good.
Up top.
Actually, really, really good. I mean, it was you could tell it was going to be tightly played. There wasn't a lot of real estate, maybe a little bit too much board play, a lot of D to the boards. Not a lot of stuff in the middle of the ice, but as you would expect. Interestingly enough, all 4 games, obviously, the road teams have won. If that continued tonight and the Blues win this Game 5 on the road, it'd be the first time since 2004 that we'd have that in a series. So there's no advantage here.
It would have set the Blues up perfectly, too, to come home on Saturday and close out the series. Hopefully, I think the road teams have been playing a good, solid games. I mean, it's really, you can say that they keep a game simple. I don't know. I think it's just been a thing of bounces. I think you looked at the first 2 games when St. Louis came here. I think they were fortunate to come out of here 2-0. I thought Jordan Binnington played very well. The Winnipeg Jets came in waves at that moment, and I think it was very fortunate to come out 2-0, and the Winnipeg Jets battled hard in those next 2 games, and here we are back at notched at 2, and it's going to be a good one tonight.
Ryan O'Reilly has just been nominated for the Selke Award. We're not surprised. I'm sure there's players around the league aren't surprised as well. One of his good friends is Mark Scheifele. They've been battling it out pretty good here in this series, and a lot of times they've seen themselves head-to-head. I guess your thoughts on Ryan and a big congratulations to him.
A huge congratulations to him. And you looked at the 3 guys that are nominated right now with Bergeron, Stone, and O'Reilly. I think it's going to be one of the tighter races. A couple other races right now for awards in the National Hockey League. I think there's pretty much a predictable winner in. But I think for this one right here, it can kind of go either way. I think I've always thought of it traditionally as a centerman's position award. But, Mark Stone he's done some wonderful things this year. He was a plus player in Ottawa. He leads the NHL in takeaways, and now he's making a huge splash in Vegas. So that's going to be a tough competitor right there. Patrice Bergeron, he's won it 4 times. My goodness. Pass the torch, bud.
Hand one off.
Come on. Give someone else a shot. And our buddy Ryan O'Reilly, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it. But 82 games, Iron Man. He's played well when the team was suffering. His takeaway ability, his stick checking ability, his plus minus, his face-off percentage, it's all right there for the taking.
And he averages 2 minutes per game while shorthanded. That's the most of the 3 nominees as well. So an integral part of that part of it. Many players around the NHL call him just the smartest player. I had Jake Allen say to me the other day, he said he's the smartest player he's ever played with, and he said, where would we be without him?
Yeah.
And that really does sum everything up there with Ryan. Now let's continue on that then. Matchup-wise, Paul Maurice of the Winnipeg Jets, I think he put together a pretty good line with Adam Lowry, Tanev, and Kopp. That was a good line. He's got last change here. We saw a lot more of Scheifele and O'Reilly. Do we see a little bit more of Lowry going up against O'Reilly in this building?
Well, that's how it was in Game 2. Remember, right? Game 1, it was top line versus top line. Paul Maurice called it a scratch. After Game 1, he said it was kind of a wash. Neither first line really did much.
And he didn't really like how many. He maybe got too stuck on that matchup a little bit, too. Because Scheifele spent a lot of time in the D-zone faceoffs and what have you.
Wasting a lot of energy, and then he switched up to that Lowry line. That Lowry, Kopp, and Tanev. When Tanev got back in the lineup, they switched to this line. That was a shutdown line in Game 2. But, coming home has been a different look because Craig Berube's kind of gone back to the Ryan O'Reilly versus Scheifele line. And to be truthful, the Scheifele line has been playing very good hockey. They're big bodies and they can skate. You look at Connor on that wing, he can fly. And for big bodies of Wheeler and Scheifele, they can fly too. So it's been a tough matchup. So it's going to be interesting to see with the Scheifele line, Panger, having success against the O'Reilly line in games 3 and 4. Does he go back to that top line matchup, or does he go back to the Lowry line?
Well, I believe there'll be a big bounce back game from the Ryan O'Reilly line. I mean, there were many times, I'm sure Braden Shen would say the same thing. He had opportunities to, let's say, get pucks out, but instead of that happening, there was a lot of sustained pressure in the D zone that really, I mean, those are tired legs for 30, 40, 50 seconds like that. So I think they're going to have a big bounce back game. I put trust in that, and I'm looking at the 3 guys for the Winnipeg Jets that have really come on too and got to be stopped. You mentioned it. Now Kyle Connor's got the 3 goals. Scheifele's got 2. Line A's got 3 goals as well. So they're probably feeling pretty good about the diversity they're getting here with their offense.
I think they're getting a lot of scoring from all their top guys. And, playoff hockey, yes, depth's important, but you got to have your top guys going. And right now, the Jets guys' top guys are going. And as you mentioned, I expect a big response out of the top line here for the St. Louis Blues here. Another player for the Jets is humming along kind of quietly. I guess not really quietly. You see him is Dustin Byfuglien.
21 points in his last 21 playoff games.
He is just a force out there. He's leading all the Jets in time on ice. He's a guy you can't hit. You can't really defend that well because he's just so big. But the Blues have got to do a better job of sustaining offensive zone time because that's what's going to wear him down. His big body by the third period, he's going to want to throw in the towel because he's so tired. But the Blues just haven't gotten to their game consistently enough, I think, to really wear down Dustin Byfuglien because he's a force back there for this group.
Patty Maroon did a nice job early on in Game 4. I mean, he wanted to get in his kitchen early on. And in this game, just to give you some insight, we've talked about it before, but having such close proximity between the benches, and then the between the bench spot, there's 2 broadcasters there, Louis DeBrusque and I like that Patty Maroon, he likes it better when it's closer.
Yeah.
There was a separation in St. Louis. He couldn't get close to their bench, not close enough for his liking. He seems to be energized with all the talking. So I'm looking forward to a big game for Patty. Patty and Bozak and Robert Thomas were excellent in Game 4.
They were great. I think Pat Maroon, maybe his best game of the season.
Yep.
And I mean that regular season, playoff season. I mean everything. He was just he was a wrecking ball. I thought it started with
emptied the tank.
The Dustin Byfuglien getting engaged right away. He's at his best when he is getting engaged verbally, emotionally, and I think with the fact that the benches are closer, like you said, although they have to get around you and Louis DeBrusque, which is tough.
It is tough. I mean, Louis is a lot smaller than I am. I could eat an apple off his head. But, the game tonight is at 7:30 Central Time. It's going to be pregame shows at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Midwest. On the radio side, it's on KMOX. You and Chris Kerber with the call, and the pregame show at 7 o'clock. Really looking forward to this game. This is it, a best of 3 series with the Winnipeg Jets holding home ice advantage. So it doesn't get much better than this as a player. I could tell it's a little bit more. I mean, it's business like usual. Always with the Blues, they're a very even-keeled group. They don't get too high. They really don't get too low. But I think it's getting special now because you're in the series now.
There's a quiet focus in this room for sure. It really is.
Yeah, they're not behind us anymore.
But they were
focused and they were stretching. And they were doing pull-ups and stuff like that.
Quiet focus. I like that.
You ready, big guy?
Let's do it.
Okay. So enjoy your day, everybody. Focus in on the game tonight. 7:30 puck drop right here from Winnipeg. The series is tied up at 2 apiece. Enjoy your day. And for Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Payne.